Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Professor Vicki Wenzel, and I am going to teach your Pathophysiology class, BIO 4700. Right now, what we're going to do is go over the syllabus. So if you haven't had a chance to get your syllabus yet or to look at it, I would open up your computers. It is online for you, and it is open. So please go get it. You might want to print it out. You can put me on hold for a couple minutes and go print it out if you want, because I want you to take notes and I want you to pay attention. And then once you've watched this video and you've gone over the syllabus, please email me with any kind of questions that you have, okay? So we are going to start just on the very first page, and it has a lot of my information on here. And I want you to note this class starts on January 8th of 2018, okay? And it goes till March 2nd, I think, of 2018. So 8 weeks, and there'll be busy weeks, okay? The first thing the syllabus says is changes to the course syllabus is at the discretion of the professor. I hope I don't have to make any changes, but if I do, I will send you an email so you all know that I did make a change, but I think we've got this thing pretty well set up. So it has my name and initials after it as the first thing. There is phone numbers in there. The first one is my office, and that is the one I want you to use first, Monday through Friday. I try to be here from 8 o'clock in the morning till about 4:30. Sometimes it's later. On Tuesday mornings, I do have a class to teach face-to-face from 9 to 9:50, so I won't be in the office that day. And on Thursday, I'm doing lab in the nursing lab all day long, so I won't be available on Thursdays either. Well, I might be later like the lab doesn't start till 9, so I might be a little bit before 9 and a little bit after 3. Or 4. I think it's 4. Okay? So try my office number first. If you can't get me, you can try my cell phone, and I do take texts. If you call me and I don't answer, because I don't answer numbers I don't know, please leave a message leave a detailed message so I understand what you're saying, who you are, and what your questions are, okay? And I'll get back to you right away after I listen to the message, okay? Texting is probably better to start with, but make sure you tell me who you are and what class you're taking so I know where you're coming from. My email is vwenzel@Nebraska or nebrwesleyan.edu. Okay, this course is a Blackboard course, and it is online. It's all online. We will not meet at all for this. Spring, we've already talked about spring of 2018. Let's see, it's the first 8 weeks in January, which we've already discussed starts January 8th and goes till March 2nd. And I already told you about my office hours, but they are right there in the syllabus for you if you need to know them. Okay? Communication should always be email or office first, cell phones for an emergency if you can't get a hold of me. This course is 3 theory credit hours, which gives you 45 contact hours. For a course description, it's a survey of the mechanisms of disease and fundamental disease processes of each organ system. Selected disease topics are studied. Okay? Course requirements. You have to be actively participating in the online course at least 3 times a week. So there is a discussion board that I want you in there as often as you can. Just don't get in there once or twice and do your work and be done. You have to go back and you have to read what everybody has written. Okay? You have to have computer or computer access, and if you don't have a computer at home, Wesleyan is full of computers. The library has computer rooms. There's computers all over Wesleyan that you can use, and we don't take I don't have a computer as an excuse not to have your homework done, because you actually have access to all kinds of computers here at Wesleyan. Okay? You have to learn how to use the Blackboard Learning Management System. You also have to know how to use of Microsoft Word and or PowerPoint. You may want to do a PowerPoint this 8 weeks, and if you do, that's great. Microsoft Word, Microsoft 365 is what we use here, or Office 365, and you get a complimentary copy with that, with your student enrollment, so please use it. Okay. Our library has great online searches of databases for course-related subjects, or any subject you want. You need to read your assigned readings. You need to complete all the learning activities, and in the learning activities on Blackboard, you'll have some that you have to do, and then there will be some that are optional, so if you feel like you need a little bit more, You can do the optional one too. That would be good. You could do them even if you don't feel like you need a little bit more. It would be just great. You have to meet assignment deadlines. You lose points every time you're late with a paper, and there are really no excuses for being late with paper. Now, if something comes up like heaven forbid or God forbid or whatever, somebody died in your family and you had a paper that was due Thursday, if you have to let me know ahead of time. You can't wait till 2 or 3 days after the paper was due to tell me that you didn't get the paper done because your brother died or your mother died or something. Just let me know so that we can figure out what we need to do. Okay, that's a respectful thing. It's also very accountable to do. Okay, complete all your assignments. Uphold the NWU and course academic integrity policy, which we're going to go over here in just a few minutes, so you have it. The best web browser to use for this is Firefox. Okay, to do your online study questions and especially your exams, use Firefox, because I know I've had a lot of trouble lately with Chrome. It's been like logging me out, or my internet has been interrupted, and things just happen. So please let me know. And you have to have internet access. And like I said, you can get that here at the campus too. Okay, so computer requirements are on here. It talks about if you have a PC or a Mac. The one thing I want to warn you is if you do use a Mac, you cannot save and submit your work in Pages because the PCs do not open up Pages, so do not save as Pages. Okay. Mac does not provide current viewers for Word. To open and edit these files, you will need Microsoft Office 2008 or greater for Mac. And like I said, we have Office 365 for you, okay, to download. Page 2. The next pages talk about Google Chrome and or Firefox. They're the preferred Sorry, I gotta not put my paper up in front of the thing. They're the preferred browsers that we want you to use for Blackboard. If you're not using Google Chrome and or Firefox, you may have trouble with certain things. For example, you may not be able to download documents with another browser like Explorer. You can get the Google Chrome for free, and there's a website in your syllabus that you can go download it from, or you can get Firefox for free, and there's a website for that. And like I said, use Firefox for this course. If you have trouble, then try Chrome, but I would start always with Firefox. There is a learning styles inventory, and there's a URL there for you to go do that if you want to. It's a quick guide to your own personal learning styles. By asking a series of questions and then scoring the results, it will illustrate your dominant and secondary learning styles. Understanding this will enhance your study skills. What are your learning styles? So you click this little thing and it'll take you there, and you can take the test and find out. It'll be really good. So our program learning objectives. The course will address the following BSN program learning objectives. Outcomes, I guess I should say. You can function as a baccalaureate generalist practitioner by translating, integrating, and supplying concepts and knowledge from liberal education, including the humanities, behavioral, computational, and natural sciences for nursing care across the lifespan and within the continuum of healthcare environments. Evaluate sources of evidence-based practice, including research and other scholarly works for application in professional nursing practice. Utilize multiple technologies to access and manage information to guide professional practice. And examine the effects that healthcare policy has upon providers and consumers in the healthcare system. The course objectives are next. At the end of this course, the learner will be able to describe major pathophysiology or alterations in body function of humans, describe major age-related pathophysiology, identify individual differences in humans with the same pathophysiology, and explore and practice the significance for the need for critical thinking when working with human pathophysiology. Okay. So your required materials are let's see, I have that book right here. Hang on just a second. I hate to move too much because then my little screen moves too. So this is your required book. Okay. It is 3rd edition of Pathophysiology by Latchell Story. It's a really good book. It's a brand new edition. We've only used it one other semester since the edition came out. So please get this book. You can get it on Amazon if you can find it. Our library also has it for you if you want it. So get this one, okay? In this syllabus, if you look under required materials, this is the APA way of citing your book. So make sure when you make a reference list and you want to use your book, or when you cite it, not when you cite it so much, but this is how you do a reference list for it. So make sure and come back to here, okay? I grade very heavily on APA. I think it's very important for you to learn. You'll use it for the rest of your life, and nursing uses APA, the medical field. So make sure you know what APA is. There is another manual that you should have. It's called the APA manual. This is the 6th edition. It's the newest edition. It's been out for a while, but it is there on your, and I want you to have that book on your Blackboard course content. The first week we're going to talk some about APA, and there's also a couple websites on there that you can go to for APA too, but please, please, please do your APA so you don't lose points for that, okay? Teaching methods and strategies. We'll have some video lectures, virtual tutorials, readings, virtual puzzle activities, animations, simulations, case studies, videos, PowerPoints, discussion, weekly study questions, and web quests. So there's a lot to do in the next 8 weeks, and we can get her done, okay? The course expectations from me are that you please read your assigned readings as listed in the syllabus and in your course calendar. Complete the tests and assignments by deadline dates. Please ask questions when you have them. Please, please, please send me an email or ask me a question. On your course content, I will have a folder there that says Nurses Lounge. This is some place you can go to ask a question that you think maybe everybody else might benefit from. So if you want to know, say, does APA mean that it's New Times Roman and 12-point font? You can ask me there that, because everybody else will be wanting to know that too, and I will answer it there instead of sending out individual emails. Please use the Nurses Lounge when you have a question that the whole class may benefit from. Now, if you have a personal question like my mom and dad want to take me to Mexico for the week, what do I do about that? That's a personal question, so I'll answer that via email if you send me that question, okay? Please complete the PowerPoint presentation by deadline date. And I'm not sure that there is a PowerPoint presentation, but I think what we meant in here was the you have a poster to do, and I think that's what it should be by the deadline date. Please be excited to learn the human body is a miraculous thing. Know and apply APA format assignments and abide by the course and university academic honesty policy, and follow the netiquette guidelines posted in the discussion forum. So one of the things you'll do this first week, the first week of class, is look at the netiquette forum and just look it over and make sure that you know what it's talking about. Okay? I'm just going to get a little drink here. Okay. So now, Nebraska Wesleyan's commitment to students with disabilities. I'm going to let you read this one on your own. If you have a disability and you feel like you need an accommodation for that, you would talk to Sandy McBride, who is in Services for Student Disability. She's our students. She's in the Services for Students with Disabilities. She's our coordinator. And there is a number in here and also an email if you think you need an accommodation for whatever. Okay? And that's not just for this class, that's for your whole career here at Wesleyan. She will be the one that you would talk to if you need accommodations for anything. Okay? Statement of academic integrity. Academic integrity is one of the basic principles of a university community. Nebraska Wesleyan University encourages and expects the highest standard of academic honesty from all students. The Student Code of Conduct states that cheating, plagiarism, or other forms of academic dishonesty are subject to disciplinary action. And you should refer to the Student Code of Conduct for additional information in your student handbook. Students who fail to properly cite an author or plagiarize will receive a grade of an F for the assignment. Students who work together on an assignment designated as individual work will receive a grade of F for the assignment. Now, all of our assignments in here are single-person assignments. You're not to work with anybody on these. If you don't cite and reference your references, you're going to lose a lot of points, or you may get an F depending on how bad it really was and what you were citing and referencing. So I would count on making sure you reference and cite everything. The other thing is when you're doing your discussion, I want to hear from you. I want to know what you're thinking. I want it in your words, but you're still going to have some references and citations in there. So don't make me a whole paragraph discussion of citations, because I'm not going to accept that either. And we'll get to a discussion here in just a little bit. Okay? The Title IX Educational Act, which is first, this is divided up into the Lincoln campus and also the Omaha campus, if anybody's from Omaha. Okay, and it just talks about you having a safe learning environment, and we want that here. And that should include anything from freedom from bullying, freedom from violence, discrimination based on your sex or your gender. If you feel like that has happened, you need to talk to somebody. You can come talk to me to start with if you need to, or go to the Title IX coordinator or the deputy coordinator. Okay, everything is very confidential. I've given you some names and numbers for, the first one is the Lincoln campus, so please use those if you have to. I hope we won't have a problem with that. We have very little, but I just wanted you to know that, and it's here. And also on the next page is the Omaha campus. So all your numbers for whatever you need are right in here, and the people that you would talk to. Okay? Student assignment submission. Students are required to submit an electronic copy of written assignments. I want your assignments written in Word. Okay? I want you to write them in Word. I do not want a PDF. I do not want pages. I do not want anything but a Word document. Okay? Electronic copies of presentations may be requested by faculty members. Electronic versions of papers and presentations will be stored for 3 years and then destroyed. Students' work may be reviewed by nursing program accreditation visitors. And you guys all know about accreditation. It's like when Jacob comes to the hospital, you get everything ready to go and you beef up your protocols and your policies. Same here. When we get accreditation people to come look at our program, they want to look at student things, they want to look at our policies, so they may get to see some of your work if that happens. Don't think we don't have an accreditation coming up for maybe another year or two. I'm not really sure where that's at. Okay? Electronic communication. Students are expected to have access to a computer and to check their Nebraska Wesleyan email on a regular basis, at least weekly and even more, because that's the only way I can communicate with you is through email. So please, please, please check your email. When I send you an email, I expect you to respond to that email within 24 hours or 48 if it's over a weekend, because that's kind of what I'm programmed to do too. Okay? That's very respectable for both of us. The university doesn't incorporate your personal home email into the system. It'll only use Nebraska Wesleyan. So if you send me something from your home email, I'm probably not going to get it. Might, but I doubt it. So you should only do that. Lots of times I send out group emails to advise students of changes in the course plans. They're only sent through Nebraska Wesleyan. So you have to use that email. I won't send out to your home email. Okay? Students are accountable for reading these emails. Please remember that your Nebraska Wesleyan email is easily accessible from a home computer through your NWU inside web pages. Students who do not own a home computer can access computers at Nebraska Wesleyan. Assignments made using Blackboard can be completed at a computer at Nebraska Wesleyan. Please let me know if you have any questions about that little piece, okay? You are going to be required to access Blackboard. Announcements, general information, course documents, assignments, etc. Everything we do is on Blackboard, so it'll all be posted there. And you're responsible for any information that I put up there that you have seen or not seen. You're responsible for it all. Okay? We also have some library databases here at Wesleyan, and we have really good ones if you have to look for something. Okay? They have a lot of full text options to assist students in their ability to find up-to-date publications. I do not accept abstracts, so if you cite something from an abstract and I go to look at it, because I do go and look at about half of them as I go through the semester, I won't accept it at all. It'll just be a, whoops, too bad, no abstracts. So no abstracts, no articles that I have to pay for because I won't pay for them. And no articles from something that I have to have a membership for. Like last semester, a student sent me an article from her hometown newspaper, and I couldn't access it. The only way I could access it was to get a subscription to her newspaper. So please be careful what you're doing when you have to do something like that. Okay? The databases that we have here vary, and some of them change over time. So use the online library for your current list of databases, and there is a URL in there for you, and it's also on the opening page of the Wesleyan Blackboard. Okay. Please note that when you're referencing an online database for your poster and or your discussion, the only ones that will be accepted are journal articles from journals within the last 5-year time frame. So the poster requires 10 references. They have to be within the last 5 years, okay? Or they have to be reputable websites such as the CDC or WebMD. Okay, I don't want to look at blogs. I don't want to look at abstracts. I don't want to look at that kind of stuff. Okay, or social media for this class. So that's all here in your syllabus. So you can go back and look at it later. Course requirements. There are points awarded for the discussion, participation, attendance in the course. If you do not participate in discussion or are late, you will lose the opportunity to earn these points. There are no excused absences. Attendance, like with the discussions, and participation are considered key elements of student success in this nursing program, mostly because it's online. I do not accept late discussion submissions. Your initial discussion will be due on Wednesday nights at 23:59. If it comes in Thursday morning at 08:07, I won't accept it at all. The discussion is a learning tool for everybody, not just you because you've looked everything up, but also to tell your fellow students what you've looked at, what you've looked for. So if you get it late, they don't have the opportunity to look at it and read it and discuss it. So I do not accept late discussions at all. Okay, let's see. If we've had a prior conversation about why your discussion may be late, then we'll talk about it. Okay, but it's all got to be beforehand. Attendance requirement expected. The students expected to be present and active in Blackboard course room at least 3 times per week. A percentage of the students' grade is based on class participation and discussions. Repeated absenteeism will be reflected in the course grade. Students are expected to be prepared for class and participate in class discussions. The next thing is our course assessment. So this is our grading thing here that we use. Okay, you need to have a final course grade of a C to progress in the program. If you don't get a C, like if you get a 72.6 or 0.4, 72.4, then you'll flunk the class and you'll have to do it over again. So please keep your grades up. Okay. This next column is the student assessment, and grades will be based upon the following learning activities. So you'll have an introduction to do the first week and accept faculty expectations. Those are both worth 5 points, and they're also worth 5% of your course grade. And then you'll have 4 quizzes every other week, week 2, 4, 6, and 8. You get 30 points for that, and they're each worth 10% of your grade. Okay. Then you will have 3 discussions, and they are weeks 3, 5, and 7. They are all worth 12 points, and they are worth 10% of your grade. Oh, you know what? I take that back. They are worth 100 points each, because we got a new discussion rubric, which we're going to talk about. But they're still worth only 10% of your grade. And then your electronic poster is also worth 100 points, and you get 20% of your grade for that. So that all equals up to 100% of your grade over the next 8 weeks. Okay? So there are criteria or rubrics for everything you do, so please be sure to read through those before you get started. Written assignments. All written assignments are to be typed, double-spaced, and proofread prior to submissions. And if you're doing APA, you should do them in New Times Roman and 12-point font. That's the APA style. They must be in a Word document, which we've talked about a little bit already. Written assignments must follow APA guidelines. No paper copies will be accepted, so please don't come to my office and hand me a paper copy. You must send it to me, and it must be on Blackboard. You may not submit your assignments you have saved in Pages if you are a Mac user. Okay? I can't open the Pages format. Office is available to you online as part of Office 365. Okay? Late work. Assignments turned in after the due date will receive a deduction of 5 points per day, except for the discussion work. Please see discussion tab. We've already talked about that. Makeup tests, exams, or quizzes, and in this course they are called quizzes. If a student takes a test outside of a scheduled time, they will be considered a makeup test. The test must be made up within 1 week of the originally scheduled time. The student is to contact the instructor via email or phone to have the exam opened up in Blackboard. Failure to do this will result in a 0 for the test, because the tests are set up to open at a certain time and then they're set to close at a certain time. So if you don't get it done and you don't contact me, I can't reset it up for you. Okay? So you're graded a 0 for that. A student may miss one test with a grade penalty of 5 points per day as long as the test is made up within 1 week. If the student misses more than one test, the test may be made up, but the maximum score allowed is 80%, and a late point assessment of 5 points per day is applied. Any further makeup tests are a maximum of 50%. Okay. Discussion, there are 3 of them. They're each worth 10%. Go to your Blackboard course in the discussion link. For week 1, you will introduce yourself to your peers, and next you'll reply to the faculty expectations. During weeks 3, 5, and 7, you will complete discussion boards. You will make your initial posting to answer the question by the date on the course calendar and make one participation posting to a classmate about the posting by the course calendar. So your initial discussion is due by Wednesday night at 23:59. Your answer or your reply to one of your students or 2 of your students, you can reply to as many people as you want, especially if you see something really interesting, is due by that next Sunday at 23:59. Okay? Substantive postings are expected in the discussions. Participation is important as it adds to the overall learning of the course. Quantity and quality are important aspects in substantive messages. Saying, "I agree," for example, does not constitute participation because it does not add anything of substance to the discussion. Giving an example, asking a probing question and then answering it, or posting a point made in the reading with the source referenced are examples of substantive postings. Remember, this is a discussion. You may not copy word for word from your text or journal. You will lose points for this. I want your thoughts. Also, try to think like you are teaching your classmates something and not just quoting from a text. If it's all quotes from the text and it's all cited, I'm not going to accept it. You'll just get it like a 0 on that piece of it. Okay? Be sure to cite your sources in the text of your posting and give the APA references of the source. Okay, the next page is your online discussion evaluation rubric. So this is what I use to grade your discussions. So weeks 3, 5, and 7, your initial discussion posts and replies are due by 23:59 on the due date. So that's on Wednesday, the initial ones. No points will be awarded for late discussion. It is expected that students actively participate in the discussion forum. Each student is expected to read all weekly discussion posts, and that includes everybody. So if you have 20 kids in the class, you have to read all 20 of their initial discussions, plus their replies to other students. I don't think your class isn't quite that big yet, though. I think it's, last I looked, there were only 5 of you, so we'll see what happens over the next couple weeks. Each student is expected to read all weekly discussion posts, meaning weeks 1, 3, 5, and 7, and contribute one initial response discussion post weekly, and contribute participation discussion responses to at least one classmate's postings. And that at least means you can do more than one. Okay? Initial replies must answer the discussion question and include at least one in-text citation and reference. So remember, you need an in-text citation and a reference in your initial and also in your, must answer the discussion question and include at least one. Okay, so participation posting should include at least one of the following: a citation reference from the literature. So even like your replies to your students need to have a citation and a reference, or an experience that relates to the discussion with a citation and a reference to back up what you are saying. So if you tell me your mom went into the hospital and had her knee replaced, you need some kind of citation and reference about knee replacement, medications, whatever you're talking about in your replies, okay? The next little piece is your grading rubric, online discussion evaluation criteria, okay? And it says the same thing. It's expected that the student actively participate in the discussion forums. Each student is expected to read all weekly discussion posts. The initial post and required responses are specified by the instructor in the syllabus. And there's dates in the syllabus. There's dates on Blackboard, so you should not have any problems with that. So your initial posting to Blackboard is worth 20 points, and it thoroughly addresses all parts of the discussion in your own words. The next one, B, is initial response is clearly and concisely stated. And the initial response demonstrates that content was appropriately reviewed, understood, and synthesized. Okay? And evidence of critical thinking and creativity. That's 50 points right there in this first little thing. So you want to make sure and follow this rubric. Then your response, this says to 2 classmates, but this class is only going to have 1 classmate initial. You can do as many as you want, but you have to do at least a minimum of 1. And what you're going to do is offer a critical analysis of an existing posted idea and indicate agreement or disagreement, or introduce a different interpretation of an existing idea, providing adequate justification and explanation. So don't forget, you'll need to cite and reference all this too. Okay? And B is that you use proper netiquette. That's 5 little points. Your posting timelines if you're on time. Okay. APA format. Utilize Blackboard's not perfect for APA format, but just do the best you can with it. Utilize Blackboard within the limitations of the technology. APA format related to postings and citations and listing of references. Use your 12-point font. You also want to use New Times Roman. Grammar and spelling appropriate to college level scholarly writing. Make sure you go back over and read what you've written. Watch how you do. Like I see a lot of people mix up there and there, like it is their right to do this, which would be T-H-E-I-R, and it wouldn't be it is their T-H-E-R-E right to do this. So make sure you get that. Your twos people mix up. Make sure you spell your words right, because I look at all of that stuff. Use complete sentences. Make sure it's well organized and it's neat in appearance. Okay, and it says every proofreading error is a -1 point. So that could be a lot of points if we have a lot of proofreading errors. Okay, so that's your discussion criteria. Now we're going to talk about the electronic poster. Okay, let's see. You will prepare an electronic poster on a pathophysiology topic. Electronic poster templates are provided in the course room for your use. You need to see the main menu on the left of the course room. So I have some templates in there you can use. You may also use your own template if you like one better, but be sure you include all the required criteria for grading as below, and we're going to get to that. Select a pathophysiology topic of interest to you and prepare an electronic poster. You need to limit quotations to less than 10% of your assignment. You must check with your instructor on the subject of your poster to avoid duplicates. So I don't want 2 posters on the same subject. So once you've decided on what you want to do, please let me know so nobody else can do that one too. References must be cited on the poster. 10 or more references are expected, and use APA format to list your references. Grades will be as follows. So you'll have an introduction and definition of pathophysiology. What is it? What are we looking at? That's 5 points. Etiology, risk factors for patho. Reference list and your APA format are 10 points. Explaining the pathophysiology of what you picked out is 25 points, so do a really good job with that. Signs and symptoms of pathophysiology, diagnosis of the pathophysiology, treatment of the pathophysiology, and then research related to the pathophysiology. You have to summarize 2 research articles, and you want to make sure they're an actual research article. So remember, research articles are the ones that come with, a lot of times they'll have an abstract at the top, and it's actually where they actually do some research. So they have groups of people, they ask a question, so you learn about what was the question, what methods did they do to use the research, what did they find out, how do they apply it, and then they should have a reference page at the end. So make sure for your 2 research articles that you have to summarize that they are actually research articles. Okay? Quizzes, you'll have 4 of them. They're worth 10% each. The quizzes include multiple choice, image identification, select all that apply, matching and fill in the blank, true, false, and they are found under Blackboard quizzes. They are timed quizzes that are due by certain dates throughout the course. You must complete the quizzes by the due dates or you will not be able to access the quizzes after that. And we've already talked about that a little bit. If you have any trouble with the quizzes, you should contact the course faculty. You must complete each quiz on the first attempt in 20 minutes. There are 15 questions. You'll have 20 minutes to get them done. When people take NCLEX and when you took NCLEX, the NCLEX exams allow you 74 seconds for each question. So this is allowing you a little bit more than 74. I think it's like 85 or something like that. I can't quite remember. But that's why you're only getting 20 minutes. Make sure and use Mozilla Firefox as your web browser. Okay? Internet. Learners are expected to utilize the Internet to search for information related to selected topics. Please ask for help if you're not familiar how to do this. Students are to check their NWU email at least weekly or more often and use the course Blackboard site. Computer labs are available on campus for students who do not have online access in their homes. If you have a tech trouble with your computer or internet, whatever, call tech support at NWU on the phone. And sometimes they can walk you through the problem. And there's a telephone number in here for the NWU tech line, 402-465-7777. It's a good resource, and I recommend it. I use it all the time. I think they know me by heart over there. They're very helpful. You may also complete a help ticket online, and it's on the very front page of when you get into NWU. The online website address, and there's an online website address there. Okay. The next that you see on your syllabus is written in purple because I want you to remember it. Use of the proper APA is expected in written assignments for this course. Please review the APA handout and APA writing lab lessons found under course documents. Be sure to understand the difference between plagiarism and proper citing that is described in these resources. This is to uphold academic honesty. If you do not understand this concept, be sure to let me know, okay? Please use your APA manual. Looks like this. We looked at it already once, okay? Your APA manual that you should have if there is something you don't understand, okay? Late paper quiz test assignments may not be accepted for grading, or late points may be deducted, all of which is completely up to my discretion. Tardiness of assignments may result in failure of the course. Students are expected to complete assignments when they are due. In the event that students cannot complete assignments by the due date, please contact instructor immediately. I know these things happen in life that may result in needing an extension deadline. However, this is at the discretion of the instructor, so don't let me know ahead of time so I know. The student who completes assignments on deadline or before, or communicates with the instructor before the deadline about circumstances such as having health problems, is displaying responsible, mature behavior. Honest, mature, responsible behavior by healthcare providers are valued and essential to the healthcare where the character, traits, behaviors are needed to ensure quality patient care services. There is a course calendar, which we're going to look at next, so please see that. It is all on your Blackboard. It is also at the back of your syllabus, which we're looking at right now. Except the very next page is your Patho electronic poster. These are some of the options that you can pick out. You probably can't see them, but they're on your syllabus, so you can look through these and see which one you want. And if you don't see one, but we've talked about it or studied it in class or it was in the book, just let me know because I don't really care. Maybe you had somebody that had something that's not on this list and you'd like to talk about that one. The next is our course calendar, and you can see it's divided up into weeks. Week 1 starts on January 8th and goes through January 14th. It tells you a little bit about the topic, and then in the middle column, activities or assignments are there, and you can see down at the bottom there's additional supplementals which are optional. So you can do all of those or at least do the top part. And then over on the third column, it's all your assignments are due by 2359. So it talks about like your week 1 assignments are all located under the discussion board, and they are all due Wednesday, January 19th. These are due early. They're your netiquette and your introduction to yourself and expectations of the student from the teacher. So those are all due a little bit early on Wednesday. They're very easy to do, but I want you to get them done and out of the road, and I want the class to get to know each other. So I want you to have that done by Wednesday. And then after that, if you look at week 2, on week 2 you have your first quiz, and that all your quizzes will open up on Wednesdays of the week we're working in. Okay, they're not going to be open all week long for you. They'll be open up on Wednesday, and the reason for that is I want you to have time to study the material before you take the quiz. Remember, you're only going to have 20 minutes for 15 questions, so you're going to have to know some of the information, okay? And so the quizzes will open up on Wednesday, and they will be due by Sunday at 23:59, okay? And then we're going to just skip right on over here because most of this is all the same until we go to week 5. Week 5 is when your poster is due. Okay. So your poster is due on Wednesday of week 5, so that is February 7th. That seems like a long time away, but I think it's going to go pretty fast. So the poster gets counted 2 places. It gets counted as an assignment. You'll get graded your 100 points for that. It also gets counted as discussion. So you're going to upload your poster into the discussion board so people can look at it and discuss it. So the initial post on the discussion board is also due February 7th, just as though your poster will be due February 7th. And they need to be uploaded to both places. Don't upload it to just one and expect me to grade you on both, because I won't do that. So 2 places you have to upload the poster, okay? And there's just a very important notice on the side that says make sure to upload it in both places under the assignment tab and the discussion board, okay? And then I think week 6 is pretty much normal like the rest, and 7, and then week 8 class will be over as of March 2nd. So March 2nd is your last day of class. And I think that's it. So you will have some evaluations to fill out on March 2nd or March 3rd. If you would do that for me, that would be great. I think that's all for this little video. You will find this on your Blackboard, which you must have already or you wouldn't have found it. So please let me know if you have any questions. And here's to a great next 8 weeks. I'm all excited for us.